This is Allison from Plant Life and Coconut Baby. What's going on?
So, Coconut Baby, aka Plant Life now, because you're now expanded and you're growing and stuff. But before we get to all of that, when you first came back to Barbados, how was the reception like? Because of course people can hear you ask and you be like, oh, she ain't from out here, why should go support you for?
Well, first of all, when I came back, I didn't really know a lot of people.
Okay.
So, because I went to school overseas and basically spent most of my life overseas. Okay. So coming back, I would come visiting, but I wasn't actually living. So I was a visitor for the most part. So when I just moved back, there was no one to know me because
I was like, who she is?
Who she is, exactly.
You have many talents. Yeah, everybody will see you as Coconut Baby. They will see you like doing stuff with the chef and Plant Life and stuff like that. But you're also a graphics designer.
Yes.
And a published author.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, I went to school for graphic design and marketing.
Okay.
Also took a segue into event planning.
Okay.
And then from there went to culinary school.
So out of all of this mass of talent and skill, why you decide to do cooking?
So I've always loved to cook.
Okay.
From since I was a kid. Like I used to like to be in the kitchen with my mom, watching her cooking and stuff like that. We used to watch the cooking shows on PBS. I used to beg her to make the recipes from the cooking shows. Like I literally grew up watching Julia Child and Martin Yan Can Cook. And the Frugal Gourmet, like those.
I remember the Frugal Gourmet.
Those were my shows. The first thing I ever made myself from a TV show was pepper biscuits. Okay. From the Frugal Gourmet.
Okay.
Yes.
How old were you when you made that?
I want to say 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I made my mother. Like we wrote down the recipe. Like after rewinding the video a million times.
At least you had the video.
Yeah, it's true. Well, no, we taped it from PBS. Yeah, I bootlegged it, right? Taped it from PBS and then rewound it, right?
Okay.
And then she made it the first time. And then she kept on coming home and finding pepper biscuits. It was like, what are you doing?
Oh, I asked you the same thing. Like, you ain't got like another recipe. You probably want to try.
Why you keep on making pepper biscuits?
Oh my goodness. So this whole cooking extravaganza, you ever decided to be, because you're an entrepreneur now, but at that time, as a young person, as a child really, did you go to school and be like, I made this, made some money? How did that go?
So as a kid, I used to make box cake.
Okay.
Cut it into slices, put it into a Ziploc bag, and take it to school in one of those old cookie tins, right? And sell it every day, right?
Wow.
And my mother had no idea.
So when the money come, what exactly was the conversation?
So what had happened is that one day I had all this money, and she was like, where you get all this money from? It's like, I was selling cake at school. When you was selling cake, where you get cake from? I was buying box cake and sell. When you was making the cake? When I come home from school. Yeah.
So she never see you make the cake?
No. Like I would come home. First thing is bake the cake and put it to cool, but she wasn't home when the cake was baking, right? So I baked the cake, put the cake to cool, cut it up, put it in the tin,
back and go on with your business,
and then go do my homework and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So by the time she come in, the house no longer smells like cake.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything gone.
She's not looking in the tin because what's in the tin? Nothing's ever in the tin.
Now that all of that has happened, and she found out where the money come from.
Oh, I had to stop.
You did?
I had to. Yeah, I had
Why?
to stop. Because I don't think my parents were comfortable with the idea of me having money. Like my parents are very old school. So like during that time, the idea of me having money was like, you don't need money. What do you need money for? You're a kid. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, that stopped. But I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. Like I went from that to selling cards door to door. Okay. Then I started selling Avon when I was in high school.
Nice.
Avon paid for my prom ticket And yeah, so
you've had a really good life. You should write another book.
Okay.
Speaking of which, tell us a little bit about your cooking book, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that probably waiting for the first book from Coconut Baby,
right?
Not really knowing that there's actually one there already.
Yes, so there is a book. It's literally called Coconut Baby, Island Love on a Plate. And basically it's about my journey with food from a kid to an adult and growing up in the States and that multicultural melting pot of living in New York City and being influenced by not just Bajan food, but Trinidadian food, Haitian food, Puerto Rican, like all of that coming together. And my mother was she was a great cook. She is a great cook. And she's always wanted to give us that Caribbean, living that Caribbean life and Caribbean food. But at that time, you couldn't always get everything that you were used to having in Barbados. So she would make her own take on whatever, right? And that's literally where I got my love of taking things and making my own versions of it.
So a lot of family and heritage really and truly has inspired you to become the person who you really are.
Yes,
because
definitely.
It could be from sitting down just watching, as you say, the Frugal Gourmet on TV, which is spending time with your mother, to making all of these cakes, coming home every evening to see them, biscuits.
Right.
And then now transitioning a little bit now, but you've started to taste the different types of food that are around where your ancestry is from.
Right.
Now that you are a full-time entrepreneur, we did catch some vibe with you at one of the pop-ups that you did.
Yes.
And how was that evening? Because I know it was a little challenging for some of the things that you were doing, but how is it? Like, how do you plan a pop-up? I can't even begin to think about how you gotta travel with food and serve people and keep food warm and to the right health temperature.
Exactly. So it's a lot involved in doing a pop-up, and I think a lot of times people come to events and they're so used to coming to events and just getting what they want that they're not really concerned with what goes into planning to do a pop-up. So first thing is the venue. Is it going to be indoors? Is it going to be outdoors? That affects what you're going to be making, because if it's hot outside, you don't want to have too many things that are going to be affected by the heat. If it's going to be indoors, will you have refrigeration? If not, you got to walk with a million coolers. You know what I mean? And I have a very tiny car, so so a lot of my planning is what can fit in here, along with my assistant and myself.
Push me, roof me.
It's fine. We won't put you on the roof, Cheryl.
It's fine.
We won't do that.
It's fine, Cheryl. It's fine. Trust, it's a lot of fun.
So but it's a lot going into it. The menu prep, dealing with where you're going to be, also getting all the food there, and then keeping everything, like you said, to the right health temperatures so that people don't get sick. Because I'm very wary about those kinds of things. Like, I don't ever want anybody to eat my food and say I got sick, or for that matter, I didn't like it. I really don't like when people don't like my food. I understand that everyone's not going to like everything, but I get a lot of joy from seeing people enjoy what I do.
All right, so now you have started or taken your marketing into your own hands, so to speak.
Yes.
And we're actually supposed to be on your show coming up. But you have your Facebook cooking show.
Yes.
And a couple of really cool people have passed through. Why a cooking show? And is it all difficult to cook and talk and do all of this stuff and entertain people, and because it's only you?
Yes. So the very first episode was super difficult. Super difficult because it was literally just me. It was the week of crop over. Like, crop over was the Monday, and then the first episode was the Tuesday. And I was like, I didn't think that through. Right? And so the first episode was just me. And I was fighting with the camera and trying to cook, and I was like, this is not good, right? So, but then the next episode was a little better. We had guests, My guests held the camera for me.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I definitely am going to have to make sure I have guests every time so that they can hold the camera for me. So it's gotten a little bit better. It's gotten better. The episode last week was really good. People really seem to enjoy it. Might be because of some of the guests, but whatever. But we've had some really good guests. We've had Sean Aline from Pyroglyphic Studio. We've had Ronell King from Life in Leggings. Sonia Brown from Nima Wellness. Andrea from Ajna Holistic Sanctuary. Like, we just... a lot of people just coming in, and basically what we want to do with the show, so I'm showing people how to do quick and easy vegan food. So it shouldn't take more than an hour, right? That's number one. Number two, highlighting a lot of the businesses and people who are doing things here in Barbados. So it's, cross,
like a collaboration.
Exactly.
That's nice. So I know you're speaking about the food should be no more than an hour.
Right.
I just spend more than an hour in kitchen. I like things to look pretty. I want to be my own gourmet at home.
I hear you.
But are there recipes, or what types of recipes would you suggest for somebody who's vegan? Are you vegan at all?
So I'm not vegan. I do eat fish. So the thing is that I have always wanted to have a fully plant-based diet, but it doesn't work for me. And I realize that for some people, being completely vegan just does not work, right? So I eat a lot of plant-based, but then I also eat fish as well. So for me, I know that people who are out here catering to a wholly vegan market can be difficult, because, especially here in Barbados, because
it's rough.
And also there's a meat mouth. There's a meat mouth world, right? So
not only meat, pork.
It's true. So what we have to do is we have to market to people who are used to eating meat, and people have this idea that if you eat vegan food, it's just grass and it don't taste good. And so my food is definitely not that.
It is not. I have had it. It tastes good.
Right.
Buy it.
So what we say for Plant Life is that we make vegan food, plant-based food for the meat mouths, right? Because we have to cater to everyone, and it's not just about catering to vegans. It's about catering to people who want to have something that they feel good about eating, but they still like what it tastes like.
So the meat mouths, as you say, they enjoy the plant-based food. They've like raved about it. They've said, I'm gonna share this with somebody. I have had some very interesting reviews on my Plant Life page. Like literal poetry written about in the reviews, and I'm just like, this is amazing. And I keep telling people I did not pay anyone to say this, because the reviews are so, passionate, and genuine. That is, it's definitely genuine, because I didn't ask them to say it, but they're so passionate that it's like people would probably be like, well, she met them do that, and I'm like, I didn't. I really did not. I think that's just how people feel about the food. So now you have Plant Life, which came out of its cocoon this year. But you also have Coconut Baby. So they're two separate businesses. I like to say one is the sweet, one is the savory.
Exactly.
But are there any other dimensions to these two cooking businesses?
Well, so for Coconut Baby, we are focused. So when we started Coconut Baby, it was just like vegan food. We did a lot, and people kept on asking me to do cakes and stuff like that, because I think that people are used to vegan cakes tasting a certain way, and my vegan cakes don't taste that way. So it's like,
it tastes like
it tastes like regular cake. So a lot of our business was cake, and then from there, people would ask me to do food. So if I did a pop-up event, I would do like a special menu, stuff like that.
Yeah, like an anime con.
Yes, right? So it went from there. Then we do kombucha, and then we do water kefir, and we have we have items that are in stores. We have the coconut chips. So it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was hard to control, because at the end of the day, it's just me, right? So I needed a way to separate the two, right? So Plant Life came out of people saying to me, people coming from overseas saying, I would like you to make things for me because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to find vegan food in Barbados. So people would like order catering, casseroles and stuff like that they could have, while they're here. And I'm like, no, you can get vegan food here in Barbados, but people were saying, oh, well, I have to sit, it's a sit down and sit down restaurant.
They wanted a prep.
They wanted something quick.
Yeah. Fast food, but vegan.
Right.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, vegan fast food, like that could work, right? But then how to make a menu that is vegan fast food that is still, it's still plant-based. It still has aspects of being healthy, but still will cater to that fast food market. And it was a lot of trial and error, but we finally developed the Plant Lyfe, the Plant Lyfe menu. So Plant Lyfe is our fast food, and Coconut Baby is our retail products and cakes and custom cakes, because we don't have a retail space for you to come in and say, I want this donut and that donut. You have to place an order and then come and pick it up.
You've been one busy person. Like, you went into 10 Habitat.
Yes.
You went to the Caribbean Summit.
Yes.
You won some cash. You went and did another pitch.
Yes.
Won some more cash.
Yes.
So what is the secret to your entrepreneurship? Because they want some cash too. Like,
so I would say most definitely with the Caribbean Startup Summit, because people are like, oh, you killed it. And like, if you were at the Caribbean Startup Summit, I actually didn't do well on the pitch because I got very nervous. People don't think this, but I do get nervous talking in front of people. If it's a lot of people, I get nervous, and it took me a full minute to get myself together. So I didn't get to finish the pitch. But I think because my passion came through in what I was talking about, and also with my pitch deck, the judges wanted to hear more. Okay. And I know the ins and outs of my business. So when during the question and answer period, when they asked me questions, I was ready with all of the information, because I knew all my ins and outs about my business. And the reason why I knew all my ins and outs about my business is because of 10 Habitat. So because if they didn't push me the way that they did to really do the market research and talk to people and refine my menu and all that kind of stuff like that, I would not have been so prepared for Caribbean Summit. So shout out to 10 Habitat. From also attending the accelerator program and constantly talking about my business, I went into Project X to do a pitch and won. Nice. Because I've been practicing so much. So really and truly, it's about knowing your product, knowing what it is that you're trying to get out there, knowing the ins and outs of your business, and then confidently conveying that information.
Recently now, you've also acquired a brand ambassador.
Yes.
Tell them about your brand ambassador, cause it's a doozy.
So my brand ambassador is Stabby.
Peek back.
So he's not vegan, but he has a very strict regimen when it comes to food. He's very about like health and eating properly, right? So literally what happened is that
always a story.
There's always a story. So he did a video with you guys.
Yes. Right.
And he sent a shout out to Coconut Baby, right? Because of you guys, so thank you, right? And I was so fussy about this shout out that I was like, I can make cake for everybody. And I did. You could go and look at the post. I sure did. I was like, everybody get cake, right? We actually started messaging each other, and he was telling me about all his eating requirements and that he hasn't had cake in such a long time. And so I said, well, I can do a cake. It's not a problem. Like, let me know what kind of cake you want. And we talked about it, told me what kind of cake he was looking for, and made the cake for him. And he was celebrating his 10 years in Soka. And I think he wasn't expecting the cake to taste like what it tasted like. So when he actually ate the cake, like, he messaged me, he was like,
this tastes
real good. Right. So from there, we started talking, about business and about being vegan and how he's looking,
for like a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. And I was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, and how do you feel about this? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, great. Oh. So yeah, just like that. But he's a really cool guy. And like I said, very into promoting like health and stuff like that. So he just felt like it was a brand he could jump on board. Nice. And we are so appreciative.
We want to know what it is that Allison, Coconut Baby, Plant Life, what it is that you want to either be remembered for, or what is it that you want to leave behind?
So I'm so passionate about Barbados, right? And I know this New York accent, people are like, what you know about Barbados though, right? But like, I've always loved Barbados since I was a kid. I claimed Barbados before I even like saw Barbados, right? So for me, it's all about giving back to the community. It's about creating jobs out here in Barbados. Like, this is a small thing now, but I feel like this could be a huge thing, right? And this could be something that changes, you know, people's lives, not just monetarily, but also making them think more about what they're putting into their bodies, making them think more about how they're cooking at home. Like, I've met people who have told me, oh, I don't eat vegetables. And I'm like, how could you not eat vegetables?
I know a few people.
Right. Or people who tell me the only vegetables they eat come out of a can. And there's so much fresh fruits and vegetables here in Barbados, locally grown, that it's like, I don't understand that. So I'm trying to impart that wisdom to people, where it's like, no, you can eat well, you can eat healthy, and it still tastes good.
Nice. I want you to tell us where we can find you online, and the times and the days that you'll be doing your cooking show on Facebook.
All right. So you can find Coconut Baby on Facebook and Instagram at Coconut Baby Barbados. You can find Plant Life on Facebook and Instagram at Plant Life Barbados. Life with a Y. Our Facebook show is every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the Coconut Baby Facebook page.
We are going to wrap right now, but I hope you bring in some more food.
Yes.
I want more food. Her food is really good. I'm not saying that. I eat the food. The food is good. Y'all have to try Plant Life. You have to try Coconut Baby. It's an honor to interview you from seeing what you have been doing this year alone and what you have grasped. So I am very, very happy. As I say all the time when I eat any food, when restaurant gonna open, because we are waiting patiently for Allison's restaurant. I cannot wait to see when it opens, because it's gonna open.
Yeah,
it's gonna open.
It's true.
So go check her out, guys. We're gonna see you somewhere sometime soon. Bye.
Oh, you made me cry. Oh my God.